What I want to do in this video is talk about BuyCycle, which is a platform for buying and selling used bikes. And I'll talk about my experience using it for the first time because I just sold my giant TCX cyclocross bike on this platform. A friend of mine recommended it to me and I thought, why not? Because I had a few bikes for sale. They were not selling on some other platforms, so I tried it and it worked for me. Again, I want to share my experience because I was a little leery using a new platform, especially when you ship off a bike and you haven't gotten the money yet. You just hope everything works out well. I'm a little skeptical sometimes of things, and so it actually worked well for me, and I want to share my experience in case you are curious about this platform. Now, I've sold on Pinkbike, I've sold on Facebook Marketplace, which I really like for local stuff, just for pickup kind of things. I've shipped bikes through Facebook Marketplace. And of course, I've listed bikes on my YouTube channel. And up until recently, like that's how I've sold most of my bikes because I love putting my bikes in the hands of my subscribers. But the selling market is pretty depressed right now. I've got a few other bikes for sale. In fact, they're on BuyCycle. And I've also sold on eBay long time ago, and I will not use eBay ever again because the fees are absolutely ridiculous now. Don't get me started on that. So, BuyCycle. What I really liked about it, there's a few things I really like about it. I had a couple little hiccups, but overall, I'll just say my experience was really good. Their website is the best platform that I've sold bikes on as far as how easy it is to list things, the communication that you get as you go through the process, the little checklist as you go through. So, basically, okay, I'm not going to go too far into like how it works. It's pretty self-explanatory, right? You create an account, you create an ad, you price it, all that, and you can pick from bikes that are common and it will come up with a price and list and all that. But again, listing was very easy. I've not bought anything on it, but listing was very easy and easy to upload the pictures, whatnot. They're good quality, but I really like the platform, whether you're using their app, which is excellent, or you're using the website. Now, let me go ahead and mention something real quick before I continue. Right now, I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe it's only selling within the United States to other people in the United States versus selling in the US to Europe. Now, the platform started in Europe. So I think it's really strong in Europe and it's kind of making its presence in the United States. And so I don't think you can sell to Europe from the US or vice versa. I think you're probably going to be able to do that in the future, but from what I understand, there's logistics with duties and customs and all that. And I don't blame them. I sold a pair of wheels one time overseas. I ended up losing money on the sale because of the customs and the duties. So I said I'd never do it again. So the bike that I sold was to someone in the US. What I really like about it, and the fees were very reasonable. So I sold a bike and I'll just tell you the price, I don't mind. I sold it for 1,900 bucks and the fees were like 70 bucks or less, like maybe $67. Now, what's really amazing about it is you can elect to have them send you the packing materials, which was phenomenal. When I got the packing materials, I got a bike box from Bike Flights, and it was really cool. Like I was expecting a full bike box. So it's a bike box that you assemble. It takes like 5 minutes. I've used Bike Flights a lot, and I love Bike Flights. In fact, I've got an affiliate link. If you ever want to use Bike Flights, if you want to use the affiliate link that I put below in the description of the video here, I love Bike Flights. The fees are excellent. If I were to take a bike to a UPS store, I would probably pay like 1.5 to 2 times what I pay through Bike Flights. So just a little plug there. I don't get paid by them other than affiliate links, which is maybe like $1 or $2. So no really compensation there. I'm just telling you, like, it's a great platform if you need to ship a bike, or even if you're like shipping your own bike on vacation, it's a great way to do it. So going back to the box, so it came in a pretty small box, and I was a little surprised, but again, it just took 5 minutes to put it together, and it came with excellent packing materials, except I did not have the foam to put on the tubes. It came with a bunch of other stuff like some bungee cords, and I even had an email from BuyCycle that had a link to a Bike Flight's video of how to pack the bike. And I went on Bike Flight's website, or I think a YouTube channel, and brought up a video of how to put the box together. It was not super intuitive, but once I watched the video, I was like, okay, that's easy. But BuyCycle sent me a link to a video so I could, watch it. It's a Bike Flight's video of how to pack the bike. So that was really cool that you got the box included with selling the bike. And so what I also really, now I will say, I mentioned a hiccup. The hiccup was I did not get the bike box until like maybe 8 or 10 business days after I sold the bike. They said it would be 2 to 3, but there's a little bit of delay. I reached out to customer service. They got back to me and said, yeah, there's a little delay in getting the packing materials, which was okay. I mean, it wasn't a big deal. But it probably took about 7 days longer than I thought it was going to. So that was a slight hiccup, but they said normally you get the packing materials in 2 to 3 days, which is great. I love the communication that you get. You get, if you have the app on your phone, you'll get messages from the app. You get emails, and there's like a checklist. So, and I'll say as a seller, I got an offer from the buyer, and I was able to counter offer, and then we settled on it, and the price was set and done. It was super easy. Now, I will say, you cannot communicate directly with the buyer, which I totally get it, right? I mean, if that were the case, if it were easy to communicate with the buyer, people would go outside the platform. Now, at the very end, and I'll talk about one other minor little hiccup, but at the very end, I did try to send the buyer my email address and through a message, and it said I couldn't do that. But I think I was able to communicate to the buyer through, there's a little inbox, but he never responded. So he or she never responded. And so I think they got the message. But my point is, you cannot communicate directly with the buyer because people would circumvent the platform and do the deals outside, maybe try to not pay any fees or whatnot. So I get that, right? That's what's a little bit different from Pinkbike. Like Pinkbike, you can email back and forth and talk about things. Like, for example, I wanted to ask the buyer if they wanted the cyclocross tires or the gravel tires, because I showed her the gravel tires. So I didn't, I couldn't communicate that way. So whatever, no big deal. But that's kind of how the platform works. Once we settled on the price, got the pack materials, shipped it out. Again, the communication through the whole thing was excellent. Like, you get the offer squared away, and then you get a checkbox that says confirm sale. Then you get a checkbox that has payment details, and then you check off that you got the packing materials. You check off that you packed the bike. So I'm sure the buyer is getting this information so they can see how the process is going. You get a shipping label, so they send you a shipping label. All you do is just print it out, stick it on the box. The buyer confirms that they got the bike, and once the buyer confirms that they have the bike and everything's good, then your payment is released. So the only other hiccup was it took about a week to get my payment. I ended up emailing customer service. Now, I don't know if it was a coincidence or if customer service released the payment, but I said, hey, sold the bike about a week ago, I haven't gotten the payment. And then literally an hour later, I got my payment, or I got notification that the payment was on the way, and I got it the next day. So that was the only other little hiccup. So the thing about the platform is it just takes a little bit longer than if you use Pinkbike, right? Like a Pinkbike, you can settle on a price, they send you the money, you ship the bike, and everything's done in 4 or 5 days. This, from start to finish, once we got an offer and I got the money, was probably about 3 weeks. The thing I like about BuyCycle is BuyCycle has good seller and buyer protection. So overall, I would say the experience was really good. And again, I just wanted to make this video to let you know about the platform in case you're looking to buy or sell, and maybe you're leery about it, maybe you've never heard about it. And if you're in Europe, you probably have heard about it. But if you're in the United States, there's a chance you've not heard of BuyCycle. So again, I like making these videos to talk about all aspects of cycling. And if you cycle long enough, there's going to come a time where you're going to have to sell a bike or buy a used bike. BuyCycle is a platform that I can recommend. So if you've used it, let us know in the description what your experience has been. I would love to hear that. And if you have any other questions or comments, as always, drop those below, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.